Good morning, everyone. So, this is the continuation to the report of Mary Ann Boni. Fisheries Administrative Order number 195, series of 1999. Section 9, Transshipment. Fish unloaded by foreign vessels at accredited transshipment ports which are no longer of exportable grade or can be considered as non-exportable may only be sold to canneries and processing plants after payment of customs duties and compliance with SPS requirements as outlined in this order. So from the word transshipment, it is to transport from the other transportation. Section 10. Requirement for the importation of fresh or chilled or frozen fish and fishery or aquatic products. Fish and fishery products to be imported into the Philippines shall meet the following standards and requirements. First one is International Health Certificate from the country of origin. Fish and fishery or aquatic products coming into the Philippines intended for distribution and for further processing by authorized or competent regulatory agency from the country of origin. The International Health Certificate shall be issued on the basis that the following requirements have been met. First one is fish and fishery or aquatic products meet the quality of fresh fish prior to freezing shall be graded accordingly to size. So, kinahanglan jud siya i-determine ang size niya sa imong product. The second one is the fishery products must be handled and processed hygienically in processing plants or freezer vessels. Third is frozen fishery products must be kept and maintained at -18 degrees Celsius or lowering during transport. So if ever ang imuhang frozen fishery products ma-keep siya or ma-maintain siya within highest degree Celsius, so there or lower degree Celsius, so nadyo possibility nga madaot ang imuhang frozen fishery products. So kinahanglan jud ma-maintain ni siya within -18 degrees Celsius or lower during transport. The last one is fish and fishery or aquatic products must be subject to visual inspection for parasite check. So kinahanglan jud siyang inspect. Kinahanglan imuha jud ni siyang i-inspection aron mahibaw-an nato og ang imuhang product na ba siya parasites. Para pud kitang mga buyers or kitang mga customer or consumer makakuha na nga to ang safety. Then, the international fish infested with parasites must be removed from the batch. So, if ever ang imuhang product na ay parasite, so expected na dyan na siya nga ma-remove na siya. The International Health Certificate shall be supported with the following laboratory test results, which shall not exceed for the indicator organisms such as total viable count 10 gram, E. coli 10 to 100 gram, Salmonella absent in 25 grain sample, Shigella absent, then Vibrio cholerae is absent. The International Health Certificate shall accompany the consignment of fish and fishery or aquatic products and shall be presented as part of the documentation requirements upon arrival. The second one is special health control requirements. It shall be subject to chemical analysis for histamine. Examinations shall be carried out in accordance with internationally recognized methods. The results of the test shall not exceed within 20 milligram or 100 gram and shall be included in the health certificate requirements. So kinahanglan jud kay aron makuha na nga to ang safety. Third is Packing and labeling requirements. It must be packed under hygienic condition to preclude contamination from lubricants, oils, fuels, or any hazardous substances. So, kinahanglan jud ang ato ang produkto is maayo ang iyahang pag-packed and pag-label. The following information shall appear in the packaging and on the accompanying documents. The country of origin written out in full. Second, species of fish or fishery products, weights, and content. Third is address of supplier. And then lastly is BFAR inspection stamp mark. So, kay ba naman siguro tanong nga ug muhisgot ta og produkto, syempre kompleto jud ni siya na country of origin, ang gibugaton, then unsay pangan sa imong product, then address nimo as a supplier, and then lastly is inspection. Storage and transport fish and fishery or aquatic products. During storage and transport shall be stored at temperature requirement for specific products. First is chilled fresh fish and fishery products shall be stored and maintained at 0 to 40 degrees Celsius. Second one is frozen fishery products, with the exception of frozen fish in brine intended for canning, shall be stored at negative 18 degrees Celsius or below during transport, allowing not more than 3 degrees upward fluctuation in temperature. So, kasagaran na po ani. So, syempre, as a fishery student, so, ang kasagaran sa mga product nga related ani nga topic is like species of sardines, mga I think tuna man siguro to siya. Section 11. Inspection requirements. Upon arrival, imported fresh or chilled or frozen fish and fishery or aquatic products shall be subject to the following inspection requirements. The first one is documentation. Second one is physical examination. And then the third one is microbiological analysis. So let's go back to documentation. Documentation is kinahanglan na kay inspection. First one. And then verification of your documentation like original copy. Sunod is clearance or certificate. And then bill nimo. Kinahanglan jud ni siya sa documentation nga ma-present ni siya and ma-inspect ni siya sa fishery quarantine officer. Shipment shall be committed to a storage facility for a period of not exceeding 10 days. So, kinahanglan jud dili ni siya mulapas within 10 days to allow the importer to submit such documents. Physical examination. It shall be collected randomly by technical personnel of the Bureau for Sensory or Organoleptic Examination. It shall be subject to examination at the time of landing. Then, the local government unit shall be responsible for the examination of fish and fishery products during distribution to markets, meat outlets. Then lastly is microbiological analysis. All imported fishery products shall be subject to microbiological examination. So balik-balik na nino, kinahanglan sa ato ang produkto is ato adyo ni siyang i-inspection if ever naaba siya'y parasites. Aron kitang tanan safety. If upon inspection, the imported fish or fishery or aquatic product does not meet the quality requirements prescribed by the Bureau, or prohibited fish and fishery or aquatic products are included in the importation, the same shall be removed immediately. So, og naay ug naay sayop sa imong product, like naabay kuwang sa imong documentation. So expectedly ma-remove na siya. Issuance of Fisheries Sanitary and Phytosanitary. Mao ni siya ang meaning sa SPS. Certificate for the release of the imported fishery product. Should any portion of the imported fish and fishery or aquatic products intended for non-human consumption be sold, utilized, or distributed for local human consumption, the importer shall be permanently disqualified from applying for subsequent importation of fish and fishery or aquatic products. So, ma-disqualified siya, and then it shall be penalized in accordance with Section 12 of this order. So, mabot na tayo ng Section 12. Provided, however, that the imported fish or fishery or aquatic products shall be immediately confiscated and forfeited in favor of the government. So, mag-agi jud ta sa law. Should any portion of the imported fish and fishery or aquatic product intended for canning and processing plants and any portion of the importation by institutional buyers be sold or diverted to the local wet markets, the importer shall be permanently disqualified. So, disqualified from applying for subsequent importation of fish and fishery or aquatic products, and shall be penalized in accordance with Section 12 of this order. So, dara, Section 12, Penal Clause. Violation of any provision of this order shall subject the offender to 8 years of imprisonment. So, grabe no? If ever naisayop gamay ang imuhang produkto, or if ever imong product is bati kaayo and then imo na siyang nabaligya, so pwede tang mo kaso. Nani siya penal clause. Pwede siya mahimong pwede siya mapriso within 8 years, and then kung dagan kag kwarta, pwede pud ka mo fine within 80,000 pesos. Violator of this order shall be banned from being members or stockholders of companies. So, delikado jud ay og naisayop ang pag-process sa ato ang produkto. Di ba, first one is pwede tang mapriso within 8 years. Pwede sad tang mo fine within 80,000 pesos. And then, og ma-violate ta, pwede po ning ma-ban ang ato ang product, and then what do you call this? Ma-banned. Dili na ta ma-appeal or dili na ta ma-member sa companies or stockholders. So, kailangan jud ang ato ang product is maayo ang iyang pag-process, and then para pud safety pud ang mo palit. Kitang tanan. Section 13, Repealing Clause. All existing administrative orders, rules, and regulations or parts thereof which are inconsistent with the provisions of this order are hereby repealed or modified accordingly. Section 14, Separability Clause. If any portion or provision of this order is declared unconstitutional or invalid, the other portions or provisions thereof, which are not affected thereby, shall be continue in full force and effect. Pwede siyang makontinue if ever invalid or unconstitutional ang mga portion. Separability clause. Last one is Section 15, Effectivity. This order shall take effect 15 days after its publication in the official gazette or in 2 newspapers of general circulation. So, thank you for listening. God bless. So, sorry for the naiuban nga wala na ko ma-discuss og maayo. It is because dili kayo ko familiar sa maong law. So, and then sorry for overcrowded sa area. It's just because wakoy lain nga pwede kong mag-video nga hilom kaayo. Kay overcrowded man jud ni sa isla namo. So, thank you for listening and God bless us all.